Last Friday in my New York apartment, a gorgeous leather jacket short-circuited my brain. It was perfect. It was also $300, a number that should give anyone pause. But the page had already flipped the switch. 24-hour flash sale. The clock was ticking and my logic was already offline. My heart did that little thing. You know the one. It wasn't just, I want this. It was, I need to decide right now or I'll lose it forever. And here's the weird part. I actually have a personal rule for this exact situation. A simple one. I closed the laptop, I walked away. I enforced the 24-hour wait. The next day, with the sale timer long gone, I went back to look at that jacket with clear eyes, and the most obvious, ridiculous truth hit me. I don't even like leather. That $300 decision wasn't about the jacket, it was about that clock. And I almost bought a story, not a product. But that's where it gets interesting. I didn't feel like I'd won because I saved $300. I felt a little cheated. Not from the store, but from my own brain. For a whole day, I was convinced this jacket was a missing piece. I felt the urgency, the excitement, the potential regret of missing out. And then, after a single quiet day, the whole feeling just evaporated. I am John, the decoder of hidden psychology behind everyday prices. So what happened in those 24 hours? That's the real question, because this isn't about leather jackets or flash sales. This is about a moment we've all had, where the feeling of needing something right now completely overpowers the logical question of whether we actually want it. Why does our own brain turn against us like that? And more importantly, how can we install a simple fix so it doesn't happen again? Let's unpack this. My 24-hour rule isn't really about building willpower. Willpower is a muscle, and muscles get tired. What the rule actually does is dissolve FOMO, the fear of missing out. That panicky now or never feeling can't survive a simple 24-hour reality check. It's a chemical reaction in your brain that has a very short shelf life. Here's the best way I've found to picture it. Think of this rule as a brain firewall. Normally, a marketing trigger, like that bright red sale timer, hits your emotional brain directly. It bypasses all the logic centers and goes straight for the Act Now button. Your wallet never stood a chance. But the 24-hour rule, that's the firewall. The impulse hits the wall and gets stopped. It has to sit there in a holding pattern, waiting for clearance from your logical, deliberate mind. And by the time your logical system runs its checks the next day, the threat is usually gone. The firewall didn't fight the impulse, it just delayed it until the impulse lost its power. So why does my own brain betray me like this? It's running an ancient program. Let's call it the panic protocol. For most of human history, this kept us alive. See a berry bush? Later means never. That neural wiring, see it, want it, get it now, was a survival feature. But my modern brain hasn't gotten the update. That same primal alarm bell is now being triggered by a digital countdown on sneakers. My subconscious still treats a limited time offer with the life or death urgency of the last berry on the bush. The real trick of a flash sale isn't that it makes me want something new, it's that it hijacks this old hardwired protocol. It flips a switch in my head from, do I want this, to, how do I get this before it's gone? And once I'm in that frantic acquisition mode panic, the price tag barely even registers. Once this clicks, you see it everywhere. Same engine under the hood, just a different paint job. My favorite place to look? Your own saved-for-later cart on any major retailer. Go look at it right now. The stuff that's been sitting there for weeks or months, that's your logical brain's real shopping list. Those are the items that survived the firewall. The jacket that got away? It probably never even made it to that list because the urgency made you skip the save-for-later step entirely and go straight for checkout now. But it scales way up from a shopping cart. Think about limited edition sneaker drops. The website crashes, people wait in digital queues for hours, all for a product that will be restocked in a different color next quarter. It's not about the shoes, it's about the story of exclusivity. Or even bigger, how about those act now, this price is locked in for today only offers for software or online courses? They're not selling you on the lifetime value of the learning, they're selling you on the panic of losing a one-time discount. The context changes, but the playbook is identical. Trigger the scarcity program, shorten the clock, and watch the logical part of your brain get put on mute. So how do you flip the script? The strategy is simple, but the execution requires a tiny, deliberate action. It's not enough to just think about waiting. You have to activate the rule out loud. When you feel that pull, the heartbeat, the lean in, the timer-induced panic, that's your cue. Say it to yourself, or even better, say it to the room. I'm putting this on my 24-hour list. This does two powerful things. First, it's a physical interrupt. You're using your voice and your breath to break the trance of scrolling and staring. Second, and more importantly, it reframes the decision. You're no longer asking, should I buy this? You're announcing, I'm going to test this. You change it from a purchasing decision to a scientific experiment. The item goes from being a want to being a data point. Then you walk away, you close the tab. The next day, you come back with a simple two-part investigation. 1. Do I still want this without the timer? 2. Why do I want it? Apply it to my jacket story. If I had said 24-hour list and came back asking why do I want it, the only honest answer was because it was about to disappear. That's not a reason to own something. That's a reason to avoid a feeling. The firewall isn't there to say no, it's there to make sure your yes is real. Now, let's pivot for a minute. If you're on the other side of this, maybe you run a small business, you're a creator, or you sell a service, this isn't just a defense lesson. It's a brutal, beautiful litmus test for your own offer. The ethical application here is to build what I call a no-regret product or service. Here's the test. If you wouldn't feel 100% confident telling a customer, hey, this is a real decision, sleep on it, then you've got work to do. If your offer can't withstand a 24-hour wait, the problem isn't the customer's impulsivity. The problem is that your offer relies on the pressure, not the value. Using urgency ethically isn't about hiding the flaws in your offer. It's about highlighting the genuine limited value. For example, we only open enrollment twice a year because we provide intensive live coaching. That's a real constraint that serves the customer's outcome. The urgency is a side effect of the quality, not the main ingredient. Your goal shouldn't be to beat the customer's 24-hour rule with bigger, scarier countdowns. Your goal should be to create something so clearly valuable that the rule doesn't even get triggered. The sale becomes a natural next step, not a panicked leap. This is where we have to talk about the line, because influence is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used to build or to break. In my view, the line is crossed when the intent shifts. Creating false urgency to beat the 24-hour rule is manipulation. It's designing an offer to be weaker without the pressure, using fake scarcity, manufactured countdowns, or misleading last chance claims. It's treating the customer's logical delay as an enemy to be defeated. That's when you're exploiting a glitch in human hardware. Creating real value that can withstand the 24-hour rule is integrity. It means your product or service is so well aligned with a real need, so well constructed, that it passes the customer's own internal due diligence. The urgency, if it exists, comes from a genuine limitation, like limited seats for a live workshop, not a manufactured one. Clever marketing makes a true benefit feel urgent. Shady marketing makes urgency feel like a benefit. One builds trust for the next transaction, the other just tries to force this transaction. Seeing these patterns changes how you move through the world, doesn't it? It turns every limited time offer from a command into a question. And this is exactly what we do here. We take those invisible scripts that run our spending decisions and bring them to the light. Now, if you're wondering how to spot another one of those scripts, Here's a quick one to look for before our next video. It's called the Rule of 100, and it's why a discount feels different depending on whether you see a percentage or a dollar amount. Stores use it to make a sale seem bigger than it is, but you can use it to instantly see through the math. We'll break that down completely next time. If you want to catch that one and learn how to rewire these triggers to work for you, not on you, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss it. Every week, we're here to build that mental firewall together, one brick at a time. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.